call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Councilman Simuluka. Councilman Garrick.
Here.
Councilman Accomando.
Here.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Here.
Council President Mazur.
Here. I'm going to ask you to please rise for the salute to the flag, and please remain standing in memory of Saddlebrook volunteer firefighter Joseph Calvet.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all council members and to all legal newspapers in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
The public is hereby advised that any statements made during the meeting of the Township Council of the Township of Saddlebrook may not be privileged or protected, and that persons or entities who take issue with such comments or are offended by same may have in the past or legal redress through the courts. Any member of the public who addresses the council speaks for themselves and not for the council.
Thank you. Mayor, I believe you have presentations.
Thank you, Council President. Tonight, we have a very, very special event. We're here to recognize some of our local businesses that have always been here for us by donating and participating in town events and activities. Residents, especially our children, look forward to many of these events. For instance, our Easter celebration, fishing derby, town picnic, mayor's annual walk, national night out, trunk or treat, the senior Halloween party, and the holiday tree lighting ceremony. We are very fortunate to receive great support from our business community. And I personally, along with the council, thank each of them, each of the four that we're recognizing here tonight, for their contributions. Every year they're here to help us and make these events successful. Tonight we highlight four businesses, as I said, that really go above and beyond to help us and help make Saddlebrook a great town that it is. Acme Supermarket, Walmart, Ferraro Spine and Rehabilitation, and Dollar General. Each of these businesses are heavily invested in our community. They give holiday gift cards, toys, presents, sponsorship T-shirts, and live exercise demonstrations. Those are just a few examples of the meaningful ways that they support the Saddlebrook residents and how much they care for the residents of Saddlebrook. Before I ask each business to come up, representative to come up, I want to introduce Pastor Christopher Wolf of the First Reformed Church. He's going to say a few words about our Community Partnership Committee and how important business relationships are to the committee and to our community. Pastor Wolf.
Thank you, Mayor. 6 years ago, when the mayor and I created the community partnership together, the idea was everybody in their own jurisdictions doing a great job. Businesses, social service agencies, faith community, local government, schools. But when you bring all of those together, when you put them all around the table, how much more can we multiply the impact? And more specifically, the impact for people in need. The principle being that a community is strengthened when we help the weaker or more in need parts. And so that's what we've done for 6 years. It's been exciting, and our business partners have been great as well. All of these, in fact, you know, when you go to the township food pantry at First Reformed Church, there are 2 refrigerators there thanks to Eugene and Acme. So that's the kind of, you know, real life, tangible help that these partners are doing and contributing to. So in addition to celebrating these partners tonight, we want to invite other local businesses. We want to say to other local businesses, you can help too. You can have a food drive. You can help us with these events. But the idea, again, is that there are people in need in our community. we can reach them, we can work together to reach them and lift them up. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Pastor Wolf. So at this time, I want to call up the Acme Supermarket, I guess Eugene Pate. This plaque is in recognition to thank you for your dedication and support. Mayor Robert White and the Township Council. Thank you very much. Dollar General, Mr. Nitin Parikh. Am I saying that right? Yes. Okay, great. Get it out of this wrap. It's not so easy. There we go. Thank you. You're not even helping me get the plaque out. Thank you very much. Ferraro Spine and Rehabilitation Center. Pete Ferraro was not able to come tonight, but his lovely assistant is here.
Thank
to
you so
take
much.
it. You're welcome. What's your name?
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Is anybody here from Walmart? I don't know. No? Okay. We'll present that at another time. But I also have, I have two bouquets of flowers for my two of my favorite, I shouldn't say my two of my favorite mothers. Council President,
How nice is
Yeah.
that?
Council President Flo Mazer and Councilwoman Karen Darminio.
What a surprise. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Thank you. Come in between us
Okay.
here.
You want to move this? Yeah, why don't we scoot this way? Otherwise.
The slim lens, right? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Guys, don't expect anything to follow.
That's great. That was great.
On behalf of the entire council, we'd like to congratulate and thank you, the businesses being honored here this evening. Thank you for everything that you do. Really, we sincerely appreciate everything. Thanks.
Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to open the meeting to the public for a public hearing on Saddlebrook's open space grant application, and it will remain open to the public for all other items.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Aye.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
You said
okay.
roll call. I didn't hear you.
Councilman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Councilwoman Darminio.
Yes.
Council President Mazer.
Yes. Okay. Any discussion on it?
Through the chair, I just want to explain, the township is applying for an open space grant application through the county of Bergen. It is for the Mayhill Street tennis courts and basketball courts. The grant application is for $190,500. One of the requirements is that we have an open public hearing. It was advertised in the record for this evening. If there are any comments, now is the time to speak on the grant application. Okay,
Seeing none?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, The meeting is now open to the public. Anyone that wishes to be heard, please come up to the podium. But I'd just like to mention a couple of things regarding the meeting. You can come up. It is a 3-minute time limit, and we ask that, not engage with conversation with everybody in the audience or anything, so, just so you're aware. And then after you're finished, after everyone has spoken, we will address your concerns. Thank you. Name and address.
Good evening. James Cullen, Spruce Ave, Saddlebrook. I'd like to address Ordinance 170521, commercial parking ban on the Saddlebrook streets. I know the ordinance passed, and I know there was a meeting about it last month. Unfortunately, I didn't make that one. I made the previous one. I'd like to see some revisions put in this ordinance, possibly. Other towns have where parking bans overnight. However, if you are unable to move your vehicle off of the street, you can call up the police station. They have lines set up, and you can get permission to park overnight, okay? Some towns, Fairlawn, sells a monthly pass. They sell a yearly pass, okay, where you get a sticker or a paper pass to put in your window that shows the police that you have permission to park on that street for a month. There's other areas where some streets you can't park on at all. Some streets you park on one side. There's different ways, I believe, that we can handle this in this town, where it can actually benefit everybody as a community, small business owners like myself, and also residents who may be complaining or inconvenienced with different parking situations. This way, we can all actually park our vehicles and not have tickets on the vehicles in the morning. I would be open for any discussions on this, or if we can have a meeting set up at a different time to discuss this ordinance and some revisions put into this. You guys are all here, I know, because you care a lot about this town. Every one of you, the board members, the mayor, I understand that. I care about this town too. I've been here 52 years. I've had a business here for 26 years. And this has made a lot of hardships for other home business owners, okay? We have to find new areas to park. It's an inconvenience. It's, our families are infected. There's a lot of things that changed when this ordinance came into effect. And I realized that it came into effect to prevent other people from parking here on our streets, which is a good thing. However, for town residents, tax-paying town residents that are trying to keep a business afloat, which a lot of you know is not an easy thing to do. And this just adds one more problem on top of all the other issues as a small business owner that we have to address on a daily basis. And
Mr. Cullen, if you don't, I'm
go-
sorry,
go ahead, I'm
I think,
sorry.
Your time is up.
okay,
Sorry.
all right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Thomas Van Winkle, 128 Lincoln Avenue, Saddlebrook. Just want to congratulate all the business owners for on their recognition tonight, and thank them for all they do for our community and all their collaboration in our community endeavors. Also, speaking of community endeavors, I want to speak about the Mayor's Youth Group. We helped out with the Easter celebration back on the 16th at the high school, which was a great success. They helped out with the games and anything else we needed to help them with. Then the next week after that, we did the Earth Day activity where we did some light cleanup at Tricentennial Park on Saddlebrook Road by Platt, and that went very well. It looks beautiful. They helped plant flowers around the flagpole as well as around the big rock, the big stone that's there. So I do thank them for doing that. Coming up, we plan on having a meeting sometime this month. We don't have a final date set on that yet, but we will be meeting very soon, and we'll get that out to everybody about our activities going forward. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas.
Good evening. Robert Lobel, 113 Rochelle Parkway. I'd just like to address the same thing the other gentleman discussed about the vehicle not being able to park. It's not only a hardship for business owners, but also people who work for a living. Myself, I was out of work for 2 years. I just got back to work. I have a company van that I need to have all the time. And some people, especially if you're not a homeowner or yourself, or you're renting, excuse me, I don't have access to a driveway. Where am I supposed to park? I can't leave it at the office because my office is an hour and a half away. And I'm on emergency service calls. I have to be, have availability, immediately. Like you said, if there's a way to set up another meeting to see if something can be, altered in the
Ordinance.
the ordinance, yes. Excuse me, a little nervous.
No problem. Time.
But that's just what I need to say. If you have, like I said, if you have no driveway, where are you supposed to park? Currently I got to park 2 towns away by a relative. It costs me $20 to $30 every day just to go to get my, excuse me, to get my car. So, I'd like to see something addressed with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Terry Festa from Montclair, New Jersey. I'm here representing Pink Balloon, a conditional applicant for a retail license for the state of New Jersey. As you know, we are looking for a municipal location, and Saddlebrook is something that we are seriously considering. I drove around today in some of the zoned areas, and I'm just checking today to see what is the process for application, and if it hasn't been determined yet, when do you expect that to happen? Cannabis, retail cannabis license. Yeah, retail.
So the council has already given 3 letters of recommendation for 3 retail facilities, and there's no more retail that they're going to, at this point, issue any kind of resolutions for.
Okay. So you've already, how did you accommodate, how did you get to choose those 3?
They came to meetings, they gave a presentation, they gave proposals.
Okay, so there wasn't an application process. It was just coming.
Not
Okay.
at that point, actually.
Okay.
They got the initial letters to us, and then we did resolutions with regard to the specifics. After that, I guess the process goes forward. But this is, from what we understand to be the first step, is what you need is the resolution so that you go to the state and show that this is what you have.
Right. As the annual license, you needed the resolution of support. I'm a conditional applicant, so we didn't require that. If they are not fortunate enough to get a license from the state of New Jersey, do you have another form of being able to apply or be considered for an application?
If you can do documentation or information with regard to your company,
I do.
so I would suggest maybe you leave it with the clerk, and then, they'll review it, and, if anything is able to be, accommodated, you get a contact from her.
Okay. So I don't have anything tonight. Who should I send it to? The clerk?
I think that's the best person to say.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Make good use of my visit here tonight. Christopher Wolf, First Reformed Church of Saddlebrook. 2 weeks ago, the front page of the New York Times had a headline. It said, "For mental health for young people, it's life or death." You didn't need that article to know, if you know young people, if you care for them, if you coach them, if you teach them, this is a very serious and intense time for young people. They need our support. They need our care. This Wednesday, May 11th, at First Reformed Church, Father Bruce of St. Philip's and I are going to lead a prayer service. In my line of work, before you do anything, you're going to start with prayer. So that's what we're going to do. We're inviting the community, we're inviting young people, students, again, coaches, teachers, members of the community partnership to be there. There'll be some music, there'll be a lot of prayer. And what we do after that, I have some other ideas, but we start with prayer and we send the message to the young people of this community. We care for you, we see the struggles that you're facing, and we want to be helpful. So I invite you to that.
What time, Pastor?
Yes, good, 7:30. May 11th, 7:30, First Reformed Church, 5 Ackerman Avenue.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to be heard? Yes.
Good evening. Jerry Taylor, 318 Shepherds Ave. In reference to the cannabis, I know of last month's meeting, there was a person here looking for space or thought he had space in Zuckerberg's. In reference to that, is there any specific location, like can they go anywhere in the town, or is there specific zones that they have to stay in?
Yeah, I'm the town attorney. So there was specific zoning that was scheduled and set up through the township council, and that was basically reviewed by the planning board, and then it was finally adopted by the mayor and council. So yes, there is specific zones that are for specific uses
Right.
with regard to cannabis.
Where it could be located within the
That's
town?
correct. It's prescribed.
All right. In the past, way back when this first started, I know the council itself was against having it coming into the town. Why the change? Besides dollars?
I would think a couple of, I mean, I can't talk for the policy, but I know that several items came up, right? First of all, financially, these are lucrative ways for the township to be able to get revenue. But the other thing is that with all the towns, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, around us that are zoning it, there's going to pretty much be other towns taking advantage of the fact that they can, utilize the revenue from cannabis. So just by merely crossing over in a very short time, the next town, so why would Saddlebrook want to lose out on that? And I would think that the locations where they put it are in areas where, you're pretty much going to be, there's no real concerns amongst the residents, and it's a specific prohibition with regard to that, too.
Well, I know,
There's 6 licenses, I believe, wait, 9, there's like 3 uses and 3 licenses for each one, so they're only limited to 9.
so possibly 9 businesses in the town.
Yeah, but only 3 retail.
3 retail, all right. Other than that, it's growing and
I believe, yeah.
manufacturing, okay.
Through the chair. And actually, Jerry, I was against it. And then after going through all of it and reading all of the information and the other towns jumping on board, if we didn't agree, I believe, Anthony, you could correct me, it was a 5-year wait until we could
Do it again.
So when Elmwood Park, Garfield, Lodi, everybody started to do it, and they're talking about a 2% tax on their sales, we didn't want to miss out on the revenue.
Now, just one quick question, does that money go into the general fund for anything, or is it specific to
No, it's revenue for the town.
it's just the town could use it any way they want?
It doesn't have to be used for anything in particular.
And also,
Taxes, if you want.
I know last month, and I'll be quick, there was a person here for going into Zuckerberg. I get lost going into Zuckerberg now. Can you imagine somebody going in and then buying and in the car? They'll be circling all day trying to get out, but that's just, my point. I personally, myself, I weighed the dollars versus I would pass on it. I don't agree with it, but so be it. All right. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jerry, I just wanted, I did vote no on it. And I voted no on it because of my position in law enforcement, thinking, oh, this is a bad idea, But then when you actually educate yourself on it, like I did, I was naive to just right away say no. But we have such a opioid problem in this
Absolutely.
country.
Yeah.
And the only thing proven right now to fix that opioid problem is medicinal marijuana. And I did my homework, I listened to other people, and like Pastor Wolf said about helping our kids and looking out for our children, I'm not saying give a kid marijuana, by no means. But most kids start with pain pills, Oxycontins, this, that, then they turn themselves to heroin. So if this is gonna help save a child's life or an adult's life, even guys coming back from military, like, not to go off on a tangent, but I met a guy, unfortunately got locked up, he was in the military. His unit got hit by a bomb. He had a titanium jaw, a titanium plate in his head, and they released him from the hospital with only the bottle of pills that he had. So his first thought was, I can't deal with the pain, I can't deal with the pain, I can't deal with the pain. And here, to me, here's this hero with no help from no doctors, because you know our veterans get
Right,
no help.
veterans get nothing.
And when this process was going through my head, I thought about this guy and how he never got any help the whole time that he was going through this issue. And to find out this could have helped him is just what changed my thought process to say yes to,
And there's pros and cons on both sides.
absolutely.
Absolutely, because they
money-
also
money,
talk,
listen, the
money,
money-
money's the
listen,
one
you
way,
want money,
but
raise
they
the-
talk about
raise
the
tax, but
schizophrenia,
say raise
you know,
tax.
being heavy with marijuana. That's another, con against it. What's the minimum age to buy, 18 or 21?
21.
21? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Just through the chair.
Sure.
The only thing I want to add is that I too, Jerry, I come from law enforcement, and I still don't really care for it. I don't like the idea of marijuana being legalized, but, and I did educate myself as well, and there are pros and cons. But one thing that struck me was, I thought in Saddlebrook, they couldn't legislate it, and they brought it to a referendum, they brought it to a vote. I was shocked that over 75% of the people in Saddlebrook voted for it. I mean, you know what, I'm one of those 25%, but obviously there's a lot of people that wanted it. And as the other said, as Karen said, all the other towns are doing it, so why should our residents, those 75% that want it legalized, as long as it's controlled and regulated and it's not in bad locations near schools, and why should they have to go to another town and that town benefit from the revenue? So that kind of changed my mind on it. I still don't like it. For years, the DARE program, the LEAD program, you teach kids, stay away from drugs and alcohol. And that's the other point, that a lot of people that are for it, they constantly use that, and it's kind of hypocritical, because drinking is probably just as bad. It could be worse. You know what I mean? Drinking, alcoholism, substance abuse it starts there as well. In fact, that's the gateway. The drinking is the gateway that gets kids hooked on substance abuse. So, but that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Anyone else wishing to be heard before we close the meeting? Seeing no one, your motion to close?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, comments, Mayor?
Okay. I have quite a few tonight. I'm gonna try to go through them quick. COVID-19 update in Bergen County. 82% of the residents 5 years and older are vaccinated. Cases, unfortunately, have increased over the last month, but with that being said, they've increased, but hospitalizations have remained stable, the same, slight increase in deaths. But the daily average is about 445 cases in Bergen County, and that's up from 182 just a month ago. So it's on the rise a little bit. But again, most cases are a mild illness, which is good, and they attribute that to the vaccinations. And I don't anticipate going back. I was at an event recently, and the governor was there, and he pretty much was emphatic that there's not gonna be any more mask mandates or gathering limits, so I think we're clear there. But the budget update, we're introducing it tonight. There's an increase on the municipal side of $98.76 on the average assessed house, which is $407,827. 510,000 of the 530,000 increase from 2021 to 2022 is caused by solid waste and recycling. So, the costs there have gone up tremendously. So really the rest, that little bit is the increased. We pretty much, there was all the department heads kept their operating budget the same, and even lessened it in some cases. We're having a public hearing at the June regular council meeting. I don't know what the date is for that, Pete, you know the date?
June 2nd?
June 2nd. I want to thank Pete Rodico, Tim Conti, and our auditor, Steve Wilcox, for doing a great job on working with this budget and getting it down to that amount, $98.76 on the average house assessed at $407,827. We're getting a Fema reimbursement for Hurricane Ida. We will be receiving about $60,000 for police and DPW overtime, damage to town property, and debris removal. As we started the meeting off, we had the hearing. We're applying for an open space grant, Phase 2, Mayhill Street Park, to improve the basketball and tennis courts, as well as upgrading the playground a little bit more. We are in the process of putting a new playground there, and that was with open space money and some funds that were donated to the town. We're road program. Tonight, we're awarding a bid for Phase 3 of the 2021 paving program. Includes Garden Street, Kenwood Court, and our municipal complex parking lot. We're also awaiting bid for Phase 2, Mayhill Street. No, I'm sorry, we're awarding a bid again tonight for Phase 2 of Mayhill Street, which is a DOT grant. The paving from Mayhill Street, from the Route 80 bridge to Market Street. The engineer is working on the 2022 paving program along with our DPW, and also the placement of speed humps. Recently, we had requests for Caldwell Avenue by Franklin School, or was it Lanza? Mr. Simuluk, was it Lanza? Lanza by Franklin School, and also Strathmore Terrace. Two locations that were slated, one for Wilson Street, and one for Fairlawn Parkway. Two for Fairlawn Parkway. Park benches are available now. We had put 5 at Tricentennial Park. We laid the cement the slab for 5 more. So if anyone wishes to donate a park bench in someone's honor, please contact the town. Baseball cap fundraiser for Colin Stern, and I forgot the baseball cap, but I'm going to go through it anyway. Colin Stern is a 16-year-old Saddlebrook High School student. He was diagnosed with leukemia at 20 months old, and after being in remission for several years, the illness came back. So we're selling Your Fight is My Fight baseball caps for $20, and all the proceeds are going to Colin's family. Colin has said that he wants to be a police officer someday, and the members of the Saddlebrook Police Department have purchased the caps and are permitted, the officer in charge has allowed them to wear the caps on patrol for the month of May. And the caps can be purchased at Town Hall Monday through Friday from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Also, we have, just to let everyone know, that the public know, especially, the Associated Appraisal is in town for the next few weeks. That's part of our rolling reassessment. They're in the area of President Street, Claremont Ave, North 5th Street, Dewey Ave, Market Street, and Saddle River Road. The assessors all have photo identification. I'm very happy to report, our website has been upgraded. There's been several accessibility improvements made, so all visitors are able to benefit regardless of their abilities or their handicap. Software program has been installed that enables anyone to make the website content easier to see, read, and understand. It includes a text reader, control of blinking, changing of text color, size, and font, a virtual keyboard and keyboard navigation, as well as descriptions of all images. Special thanks to Joe Abiso, our website administrator, and JKO Consulting for their advice and implementation of these improvements. Some events that occurred last month. And by the way, all the events that we have in town, the majority of them, they're all photographed, thank you, Thomas Van Winkle, and also videotaped by our videographer. And you can see them on the town website, Facebook page, YouTube, and on cable, Channel 77, and FiOS, Channel 38. But we had the Little League Parade. I want to thank the executive board of the Little League, the police, DPW, fire department, and ambulance corps for their assistance. Wishing the Little League a fun, safe, and successful season. Our Easter celebration, I want to thank the Projects and Activities Committee, especially Councilwoman Karen Darminio, Shannon Accamundo, and Christine Generario of our committee. Also, Mayor's Youth Group Liaison Thomas Van Winkle and all the group members, and appreciation to the DPW police for helping out at that event. Upcoming events, the Police Department Memorial is Thursday, May the 12th, this coming Thursday, May 12th, 12 noon, right here at Town Hall in the front. Eagle Scout Court of Honor is Sunday, May the 15th, 5 p.m. at the VFW. For anyone who has never seen a Court of Honor, I advise you to go. It's a little bit long, it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours, but it's really a very nice ceremony to see. Memorial Day Parade is Sunday, May 29th, 1 p.m. The services start at 9 a.m. at Welcome Road, at the monument there, and then they go throughout the morning, and then the parade is at 1. And that parade starts at Fairlawn Parkway and Shepis Avenue. The VFW Memorial Day service is the next day, Monday, actually on Memorial Day, May the 30th, at the VFW Circle on Saddle River Road in Mayo. The last day for voter registration is June 17th. For the June 17th primary is Tuesday, May the 17th. So Town Hall, Pete will be there until 9 p.m. for those who want to register for the primary. Other things, May has monthly obligations. They call them obligations, but National Military Appreciation Month, National Mental Health Awareness Month. Teacher Appreciation Week was this week, May the 2nd to the 6th. Nurses Appreciation Week is next week, the 6th to the 12th. I also want to thank Councilman Accamundo and the Bergen County Sheriff's Department. Councilman Accamundo is a corrections officer, and he works as part of the inmate labor program. And we had several inmates here yesterday and today, all week, and cleaning areas of town along that have a lot of debris, along Bailey Avenue, leading to Route 80 and the Parkway. They did mulch and landscaping here in front of Town Hall, and they also cleaned up an area by North 7th Street. That's what I know. There's probably a lot more. And Todd, maybe you want to mention that. But thank you very much.
I think you mentioned everything. The only thing we didn't do was elaborate.
Okay. And last, I just want to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilman Amato?
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't here last month due to death. But I just wanted to tell Karen that the programs are just getting more and more well attended by. I don't know if we're getting more residents as the weeks go by, or if people from out of town are going by and enjoying the amenities, but it's just well attended. It's everybody had a great time, and
I think it's because I'm retiring and you're younger and you bring more to the table.
Not me.
That's
my
what
wife.
I think.
But I just want to say it was a good job by yourself, Christine, and of course my wife. I also want to let everyone know, a resident, Joseph Barra, reached out to me and the mayor with regards to putting flags out at the cemeteries, the George Washington Cemetery and cemeteries throughout the town, the week before Memorial Day. Right now we have approximately 400 flags to put out. So if anyone's interested and wants to help, we're going to meet the weekend before Memorial Day. It's a Sunday morning. You could, sorry Pete, but contact Pete or Christine let myself know, or if you could put my email on the screen. I'd love to see a lot of people come out, especially the Mayor's Youth Group, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and hopefully some residents, because I think it'll be a good thing. And happy Mother's Day to all you mothers. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Garrett?
Good evening, everyone. The Flood Committee met on Wednesday, April 27th at the Senior Center. Amble Sudol, Tom Dickman, and I were in attendance. We discussed some of the areas in the township that are prone to flooding, such as 5th Street, Saddle River Road, and Rochelle Parkway. We also discussed the community rating system and the township's participation in that program. The committee also discussed the Bergen County parks on Saddle River Road. There are concerns regarding the park and the erosion that has taken place. After the meeting, I spoke with the mayor about the situation at the park. The mayor reached out to the county parks department to discuss the committee's concerns. The county is contracting out the work, and it should be completed at some point in the near future. The committee will be meeting again on Wednesday, June 30th at 6:30 at the Senior Center. I hope to see everyone at the Memorial Day Parade on Sunday, May 29th. And I also would like to wish all of the moms a happy Mother's Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Dare.
Yes. I just want to say truthfully, I am retiring, as you all know. And Shannon and Christine and Todd have really picked it up and taken projects that, and I mean that sincerely. I have a little bit of input when it comes to the budget, but other than that, you are doing a great job. Thomas, the bunny, you are the best bunny ever. So, oh, I'm sorry. To all of you, thank you. Just want to mention the building because we're still in the whole process. It is moving along, and if you would like to go on our website, correct, Thomas? Thomas is there regularly, and he's taking pictures as the construction is going on. We are moving along, and if anyone has any questions or would like a private tour, please contact me, email me, but I can assure you we're on budget, we're moving along, and it's going to be really something you're all going to be proud of. I can really say that truthfully. The other thing I want to mention is that I got a text earlier tonight, an email. We're going to have another storm. So tomorrow into Sunday morning, we're going to have over 2 inches of rain, and the winds are going to go up to 25 miles an hour. So it's another horrible. But what I want to mention is the building. It's been brought to my attention that the back of the building floods. I can assure you it doesn't. But when you see the amount of rain, you're going to see in the parking lot behind the building water. And that's because the main drain in the parking lot has a silt screen covering it because it is a construction site, and because of the DEP, we have to make sure that the groundwater goes slowly so none of the contaminants can go into the ground. So I just want to let you know that because I've heard some comments and people saying to me, it floods behind there. Honestly, it doesn't. So with the storm coming, if you go to Acme and you might see the back with water, I just want you to be aware of it. Other than that, I think I'd like to wish all the moms and the grandmoms a happy Mother's Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Samaluka?
A couple of things. Sorry I was delayed getting here. I understand certain people spoke, and I apologize for not hearing you. I don't know if you said anything different than you did 2 months ago. We did have a couple of people come in on Tuesday night to speak again about the parking ordinance that was enacted, prohibiting parking of commercial vehicles in Saddlebrook, basically overnight parking. We did have, the mayor appointed a committee consisting of me and Councilman Accomando and the officer in charge, James Galbo. We did meet, we did discuss a number of proposals, and we did discuss the input from the concerned residents, the ones that are affected mostly by this. There were some suggestions that were made to the council during last month's meeting. Small changes, large changes, and a couple of small changes were enacted. The main change would be the fines. They used to go up to $1,000 plus, I believe, and/or 15 days in jail. No one goes to jail for parking. Let's be serious. So we took that out, and we did we changed it to a graduated fine system. First offense 100, second offense 250, third 500, and up to I don't know if we limited, but a potential suspension of the registration of that particular vehicle. There were some other suggestions that were made to the council. A majority of the council were not in favor of those broader changes to the ordinance. So the basic gist of the ordinance, the prohibition, will remain, and it's going to be the changes, the amendments are going to be voted on this evening. The mayor mentioned speed. Most of the time, we get requests for speed humps. We did get one on Lanza, we got one on Skillman, and just like we did in some other areas. And then after the fact, when you spend the money and you put it up there, even though people were for it, some people say, we don't like it. It's loud, it's noisy, it's, does things very, and I gotta say, 1/10 of 1% of the people, maybe just one person actually, complained about it. So you have very minimal complaints and a lot of thank yous. But what we did, because of circumstances, we will be sending out letters to the affected property owners in the area, sort of almost like a variance where you send it to people within a couple hundred feet. But the areas around the proposed speed humps, just let them know what we intend and to get their idea. Now, if you send it to 10 houses that are going to be in that area of the speed hump, and 9 of 10 or 10 of 10 say we hate that idea, we're going to reconsider. But I don't expect that, because most of the people in those areas that we're looking at have already requested it. The cannabis, we were going to have a cannabis committee. However, as you may or may not be aware, there's 5 different types of cannabis operations. We've approved 3 of them. That would be retail, cultivation, and manufacturing. We've already kind of given a letter of support to 3 retail, and we limit it to 3, 3, and 3. So we've already given letters of recommendation to 3 retails and 3 cultivations. So there's no real room for other people to come in on those sections. The only ones available would be manufacturers, and we have not been approached by any manufacturing outfits. So for that reason, it really doesn't seem to be a need for any committee on that. As the law changes, and it's very fluid, it changes all the time. As it changes, and if it changes, and I would expect it will, as we get used to it, it's something new for the state. We will reconsider that, but right now the only slots open are for manufacturing. The mayor mentioned, or somebody mentioned, 5th Street, the flooding on 5th Street. I don't know if we can talk about what happened the other day. Somebody came, the old Amloyd's property is finally, thank the Lord, being developed, and the intention is that it's going to be a self-storage facility, and the person that's going to operate or build and operate that facility has made some requests to the town, mutual beneficial work that may alleviate some of the 5th Street flooding problems. So we expect that project to continue, and if it continues in the way that's been proposed, it seems reasonable that it's going to help. Our engineer had some concerns, and we'll be meeting with their engineer just to make sure that we don't fix something here and hurt something down the road. So we are aware that some things that you do can have effects elsewhere. So we'll be looking at that, but hopefully that will, listen, you get 5 inches of rain in a day, nothing's gonna help it. I mean, you see pictures on TV of cars being swept down the street. Luckily, I don't think we've had that on Fifth Street, but on normal to more than normal rainstorms, we expect that this change should alleviate some of the flooding. Also on Fifth Street, we did talk about potential of upgrading or adding to the Fifth Street Park. A lot of people who live in town for 20 years don't even realize that there is a park on Fifth Street. It's kind of hidden. There's a small entranceway and then it opens up. But the people on that side of the street, on the numbered streets, are rightfully concerned with the lack of viable options for their kids in order to have recreational functions. So we are looking into that, and that's something that I've always thought was an underutilized piece of property. So that's something that we're going to be looking at. In terms of the assessment, for those who are here on Tuesday evening, the auditor, who's been just tremendous for us, I gotta say, he's been a great help to the community, was initially against the rolling assessment, but he's been convinced. He's a believer, and you can see it in the number of tax appeals that have come in. They're way down. When he first came on board, there were so many, there were 50 or 60 of them. They're way down, and the main thing is it keeps the big commercial tax appeals from coming in. Now, a resident comes in, the appeal, if they win, it's $1,000, $2,000. You've got a big piece of property, big commercial property. They were coming in and looking for millions and millions of dollars, and that directly affects your taxes. So I think it was a good idea, and it's been proven to have been working. And for those people, the wrestling guys, we didn't forget about you. We're still talking about the garage. Government moves at a glacier-like pace sometimes, but we want it. Believe me, I'm a wrestling guy, and I really want to get that room at Veterans Field done with your help, and we really appreciate the help that you've indicated that you're willing to put into it. So we haven't forgotten about you. Thank you, and happy Mother's Day, and God bless everyone who still has their mothers. Love them while you got them, because once they're gone, they're just too late.
Madam President,
Yes.
if I could just a minute, I just looked in the audience, and I want to just go back to the building a minute. Our Nancy Murray is here, who's a resident of ours, who's been on the zoning board and chairman of the zoning board for many years, and she was generous to us. Her office moved, her one office moved into another office, and she was kind enough to give us, it's gorgeous. I saw it. And not only that, you had it delivered to us. So thank you so much. And we're really going to put it to good use for sure. And it's beautiful. So Nancy, I just want to make sure the whole town knows. Thank you so much. And we appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. They're really a tough act to follow. Anyway, but Thomas, beautiful job at Tricentennial Park, you and your crew. It's beautiful to see all those flowers there. Pete, Mayor, all the department heads, you did your due diligence with the budget. Thank you
Thank you.
for being fiscally responsible. Really.
PPP.
Yep. And I gotta mention, over here to my right here, Miss Karen, if anybody needs a clerk of the works, she's your person, because she's amazing with, on the job. And I do have it in my notes to thank you, Nancy. We've been you know, on top of the transfer of the furniture, we've been making sure they bubble wrap everything and everything is delivered in good shape. But thank you for that. And, as far as the parking ordinance, you know, it was never meant to hurt anyone. My son's in town, he's a plumber, he's got the vans, guys are bringing him home. They gotta find a place, and unfortunately, you know, I know there's inconvenience for some people, we do. But like council people said here, you know, after listening to the officer in charge and also people that were for it and whatever, this was our decision. You know, so going forward, sorry. And happy Mother's Day to all our moms. And on that note, introduction to the budget.
Introduction. We have a resolution for council consideration. It's the introduction of the 2022 municipal budget and the amount to be raised by taxation for municipal purposes will be $21,090,359.66.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samuka.
Yes.
Councilman Garrick.
Yes.
Councilman Accomando.
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio.
Yes.
Council President Mazur.
Yes.
And we will have the public hearing at the next meeting in June. On the budget. We have ordinances. Ordinance 1721-22, calendar year 2022 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank pursuant to NJSA 48:45.14 for first reading. This is done annually. Each town does it to establish the cap bank to protect any cap overflows that may be available, and it assists us in the budget process.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samuka?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes.
Be resolved by the Township Council that the ordinance calendar year 2022, ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank heretofore passed on first reading, be further considered for a final passage at a meeting to be held on the second day of June 2022 at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the municipal building, 93 Market Street, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance according to law, with the notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of a time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second. Roll call.
Councilman Samuka?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes.
First reading ordinance 1722-22. It's an ordinance amending chapter 196, article 2, entitled Parking for first reading.
Motion.
Motion.
Have a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samuka?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes.
Be resolved by the Township Council that the ordinance amending chapter 196, article 2, entitled Parking, heretofore passed on first reading, be further considered for a final passage at a meeting to be held on the second day of June 2022 at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be reached at the municipal building, 93 Market Street, and at such time and place all persons interested be given an opportunity to be heard concerning said ordinance according to law, with the notice of its introduction and passage on first reading, and of the time and place when and where said ordinance will be further considered for final passage.
Have a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samuka?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes.
That completes ordinances. All items listed with an asterisk are considered routine and non-controversial by the Township Council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or member so requests it, in which case the items will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. The one motion signifies adoption of all resolutions, receive and file letters, correspondence reports, and approval of minutes and applications. And on the end, the last resolution is for the change orders or contractual obligations for Johnson Communications. That's, you know,
Motion. Do you have a second?
You gotta take out the minutes.
Take out the minutes.
They're not part of the consent. No asterisk. We have a motion.
We have a
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samuka?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dorminio?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes.
And we have the minutes of the April 7th, 2022 regular public meeting.
Motion to approve. Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Samuka?
Yes.
Councilman Garrick?
Yes.
Councilman Accomando?
Abstain?
Councilwoman Dorminio?
Yes.
Council President Mazur?
Yes.
Completes the business.
Is that?
That completes the business.
Yes. Okay. Any old business? Anybody? No, no old business. New business?
Through the chair, I
Sure.
just want to also thank Nancy Merriam. I had it in my written notes, it didn't make my type notes. I'm sorry, but thank you so much. It really, it's just, I don't know how we can thank you and your company.
I'd rather give it to someone to use than have it be destroyed and go into the dumpster. It gives it a second life.
Well, thank you very, very much. Also, I just want to make one statement about this commercial vehicle ordinance. I know that some people are unhappy with it, but I want. Sorry. Regarding the commercial vehicle ordinance, I know that some people are unhappy with it, but I want everyone to know, including those that opposed it, that we did listen and hear the complaints of those people that are unhappy and that were against it. But I personally believe that keeping the ordinance the way it was originally written is best for the entire community. Sometimes we up here have to make unpopular decisions, decisions that are not going to be, they're going to be disliked, they're going to be hated. But we're not doing it because we have a grudge against any particular person. It's not discriminatory. It's what we feel is best for the entire community. And I want to say thank you to the council members for standing their ground and standing firm on this, having the courage to do so. Because sometimes it's not easy. You get a room full of people that are angry and coming up and complaining. We're here. I think every one of us is here because we want to help people. So when you get people that don't like something, you want to try to bend a little bit. But in our case, I really believe that the town is going to be better off for the decision that we made to keep it the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. No other business? Nobody? Okay. Motion to open the meeting to the public?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meetings open to the public. Anyone wishing to be heard on agenda items?
Good evening again, Jerry Taylor, 318 Sheppes. On the parking, on Monday at the meeting, wasn't there, Tuesday, okay, well, it's been a long day. Wasn't there discussion as far as the language of the parking with transporting material, meaning basically, because Todd said about pickup trucks with the commercial. When you say transporting material, that's what I thought. dump trucks, trailers, because most of your guys, most of your people in town have vans. And if you don't want to go that way, why don't you come up with a permit? Let them buy a permit for a year. And this way the town's making money and they can still park on the street. No? Come up with
I'm not for that, Jared. I'm not for that at all, honestly, because you know what, the whole idea of it is to not have the commercial vehicles parked.
Oh,
on the
yeah,
street. So if you're giving it a permit, you're basically saying, well, it's okay. And the complaint from many residents is they don't want to see the commercial vehicles, the larger vehicles, or even the vehicles that are, commercial plates that are written. It's a residential zone. It's, people.
I can understand, right, I can understand the dump trucks and stuff, because most of your landscapers have dump trucks and they're parked on the street. And for example, Phil Sergio, I couldn't pull out of his driveway if I wanted to, because of the dump truck in the
Right.
back, something like that. But I think, like the gentleman's saying, people that have to, bring it home and they use it as a actual vehicle, it's going to be a hindrance. Now he has to go find a spot somewhere else, besides the front lawn. But he's renting, he doesn't have any space.
People in other towns do it. I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. They could
Oh,
figure
yeah.
something else out.
Yeah,
You know what, they may have to pay for a spot somewhere, they have to use a neighbor's, that doesn't have a car, or
Right.
has space.
well, rent space by your son over
You know
there.
what, Jared, it's an inconvenience, maybe.
Oh, yes.
But it's not a hardship. That's my stance. on
Some
it.
people might,
Right.
might
I mean,
be.
I feel bad for somebody that, if they're a tenant, like that one fella, and, his landlord's not letting him use the parking.
park, yeah.
Use the.
Okay.
Driveway.
Right.
Thank you. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That guy I feel bad for, but there are other alternatives. And they just have to, use some ingenuity.
Okay.
That's just the way you look at it. It's better overall for everyone.
Time's up. Thank you very much. Have a good
Thank
night.
you, Jerry. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Motion to close?
Motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any other comments? We close?
Opposed?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everyone.